Good morning. Starting out nice and early because I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get through the Bradwell Bay area. Approximately 12 miles of swampiness, so it could be kind of slow going, so I want to get an early start. But it's super quiet. Very quiet last night. No crickets or frogs or owls hooting or coyotes yipping. Nothing. Just like dead quiet. But if it was a high water year, you could take this road all the way around the swamp, so there's an easy way to avoid stuff if you wanted to, but we'll go through it. It doesn't sound like it's too bad. It just sounds like it's a normal year. I'm off of that dirt road and officially into the Bradwell Bay section. The first couple miles looks like it's kind of along this old, overgrown, little backcountry road, so I don't think there will be any difficult swamp navigation just yet, so that helps out with the early start. There's also a lot of moisture in the air. It's not exactly foggy, but my headlamp is reflecting off a lot of moisture. Makes it hard for me to see. Well, when I first started, it was just kind of misty, but it is definitely foggy now. Getting foggier the further in we get. Now we're at our turn off this old Jeep trail. Back this way, I think. So far, it's pretty easy. Just slightly overgrown. Well, this is way better than what I was imagining. I was led to believe this would be a section that's 12 miles of swamp, waist deep at the worst. Maybe there is a spot coming up that's waist deep, but so far it's just been like this. I'm only wet from the knees down just from brushing up against all the brush and getting the condensation from all the dew that's out here. I'm at a junction. If you go left down that way, that'll take you to the Monkey Creek trailhead. We're halfway through the Bradwell Bay and still no swamps. I feel like I've been lied to, but in this case, that's a good thing. Now, this is an unmarked creek crossing. And it looks like the first area where you have to get wet. Only about, go across these logs that are a little underwater. Ankle deep, maybe at the most. There's a bit of swampy trail. And we're almost to Monkey Creek. We're definitely getting wet for that one. Maybe the swamps are shortly coming. There's Monkey Creek. It looks more like a monkey swamp. This might be knee-deep. We'll see. Oh, this is the place with the boat and the tow line. But the boat looks kind of sunk in the middle. Yeah, I'm going to stay to the left. It looks like it's a little shallower. Yeah, the boat's not doing so good. I think it's permanently out of commission. Got up to thigh deep at the highest. Well, we're almost through. We made it to a junction. If you go left out that way, that gets you to the Bradwell Bay South Trailhead. And continuing on. Still no real swampy area yet. Now we're starting to get some sloppy trail, a little muddy. I think the worst parts of this are all the spider webs across the trail, and the water temperature is only about 40 degrees, so my feet are numb. Otherwise, not so bad so far. Getting into some proper swamp now. Only about shin deep at the most so far. Sometimes it's a little bit of an obstacle course as you pick your way through stuff. think the mud is the worst part. Mud's deeper than the surface water layer, and your foot goes down and hits the mud and slips sideways. It's very hard to keep balance. I feel like max speed through here is about 1.5 miles an hour. Well, this area is designated as the Bradwell Island Camp, but it's so overgrown, I don't think there's anything here anymore. So don't count on camping anywhere here. I was looking for a place to sit down, maybe a spot or something. I feel like it's been continuous swamp for the last mile, and we'll take a little sit-down break and then finish it up. Looks like it's still swamp all the way to the end. Okay, done with the break. Time to finish this up. 3 miles left, and looks like the fog is all burned off. Should be a nice, beautiful, warm, sunny day. So as soon as we hit the other end of this, I'll be able to take a break and dry some stuff out and try to wash my shoes and stuff up. It's like a little flowing creek. Water's nice and clear. At least there's plenty of good drinkable water out here. This swamp definitely has a different feel than the Big Cypress. Like it's more closed in, slightly claustrophobic. Man, some of this is really bad because the water's only like 6 or 8 inches deep, but then you sink into the mud about an extra foot and it just locks you down. Definitely can't move very fast. And a lot of hidden roots. Well, we're definitely in the worst of it. I think I've gone about 0.1 in the last 20 minutes. There's a lot of hidden sinkholes. The water only looks about 6 or 8 inches deep, but I put my trekking pole into one and my arm went all the way down to my elbow. Luckily I didn't fall in more than that, but man, it is deceptively deep out here. Well, I'm officially pissed off and swearing up a storm out here. This is beyond my ability. I almost feel like I should have road walked around it. This is bad. It doesn't look that bad. And even staring at the water, you're like, oh, that's like 4 inches deep. Nope. I've had a couple of 3 to 4 foot mud pit sinkholes. It'd be faster if I just swam this. I just checked my clock after another slog session. I've gone 0.1 in 25 minutes. I think this is a new record for going the slowest I've ever done on a section of trail. It looks like I'm through that deepest part into some normal swampy bits. And that was horrific. That took 45 minutes to do a quarter mile. That was crazy. Well, this is a nice little dry section for a minute. We're still 1.5 miles to the exit of the swamp, so I'm betting we're still going to be back plowing through it in a little bit. Yeah, I figured as much. It looks like this last mile is going to be mostly dry. There are some occasional puddles you have to get through. But this is moving along much better. Well, as we're definitely through the worst of it and almost done with this section, I think I'm going to take the opportunity from this little pool of water to wash all the mud and stuff out of my socks and shoes. Dang it. We're almost out. My shoes are refilling with mud. Oh, this is knee deep. There we go, here's the exit. This is the west end. And it's lunchtime, I'm definitely taking a break. Whew. Well, that was a fun experience. Well, back on trail, just made it a short lunch break. I want to keep moving. I want to make it to Indian Creek campsite, which is like another 11 miles from here. But the next stop will be about 6.5 miles or so. There is Porter Lake, little campgrounds there where we can top up on some water. There's a little side trail for the mantis camp. Someone's made a little praying mantis for it. That's cute. I was just thinking about the Bradwell Bay swamp. That was definitely worse than Big Cypress, but it was short. I'd say the total length of the swampiness areas was about 3.5 miles, and about 1/4 mile of that was horrendously swampy. I think that makes up about the worst part of the entire Florida Trail so far, was those 3.5 miles of swamp. There's still lots of swampy patches today, apparently. Oh man, I guess it's just going to be that kind of day. I could use a little bit of a normal road walk right about now. Well, we're coming out to a road. Finally. I feel like there was just as much swamp that we had to walk through in the swamp as there was after the swamp. Crossing over Smith Creek. I made it to the Porter Lake, little camping area. I'm gonna stop here for a bit. I see bathrooms. Mainly looking for a water faucet. Should be something here. And we'll be back on trail shortly. Well, that was a great little stop. Fully refreshed and clean. Perfect little spigot to wash everything out. So, I got all the dirt and mud back out of my shoes and socks. Put everything back on. And we're going to push on another 4.5 more miles or so to Indian Creek. And that's where we're going to look for camping for tonight. I'm starting to get some painful rubbing spots in the bottom of my toes on my left foot from walking in wet feet all day. Feels like a blister's forming. But we only got like 2 miles left or so maybe to camp. So I just gotta hurry and get there, then I can take care of my feet. Oh, finally, Indian Creek Camp. My feet hurt. They're rubbed raw. I got a lot of hot spots on my left foot. I did a lot of work today. Oh, this is a nice little place. I gotta get set up. Okay, we are done here. I'm getting all settled in. Did almost 24 miles. Went through the hardest stretch of the entire trail today. That was awesome. My feet do not like being wet though. Gotta take care of them. We're still 2 days to town, and I'm definitely taking a 0 there, so I gotta beat my feet up for 2 more days. Hopefully they're 2 dry days. I don't know what to anticipate in the future there, but we'll take care of ourselves as best as we can. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the morning. Morning. Nice and cool, but clear. Massive condensation on everything. But it should warm up later and be nice and sunny so we can dry everything out. Feet are definitely kind of messed up a little bit, so I think I'm going to try to baby my feet as much as I can the next couple of days till I get to town, take a zero, get some rest on them. So looking ahead, it looks like there's a lot of comments about a lot of swampy sections coming up, some as much as thigh deep again. And there's also a bunch of country back roads that kind of crisscross the trails and get all over the place. So I think I'm going to try to stick to some more of these backcountry trails. Those are also kind of swamped out half the time anyway, but I don't know, we'll kind of see. Trails and sections is definitely swamped out. And we're already just coming out to this paved road first thing. And back into woods. Passing by Indian Creek again. Coming up on where the trail goes back into the woods. But I'm going to divert from here and stay on this forest road to avoid all the swampy bits. Work my way around. So far the road's staying nice and dry. Though my feet are starting the day kind of damp. The shoes never dried out. The feet aren't wet, they're just damp. It is a lovely walk out here. It's very quiet and peaceful. No cars, no people, no animals, no birds, no wind. It's kind of lovely. Coming up to his T-junction. Taking a left onto 107. This is definitely a much more enjoyable experience than slogging through swampy marshes. Well, we're making good time, good pace. I think it's time for a little sit-down snack break. Need to dry some stuff out. Definitely tons of condensation on my tent. That should dry out nice and quick, though. Okay, back on trail. We're about 90% dried out. We'll take care of the rest later. Just kept it a nice short break. Well, we've hit a point where the trail's reconnected back with this road. There's the trail going back into the woods. Latest comments are still saying that the trail is still shin deep mud bog, so I'm going to stay on the road. It looks like we're merging onto road 120. Reconnecting with the trail at the Villas Trailhead. A little kiosk here, Apalachicola National Forest. Continuing on. Gonna take a left here onto Route 65, just for only about half a mile or so. Here's our exit from the road. Turning on to Forest Road 112. The trail cuts off into the woods there. I'm going to stay on the road more so because there's a trail closure reroute for a bit. Crossing Hostage Creek. It looks a little dark and murky. I think I'm okay on water to keep pushing for another source. But I'm also looking at stopping for a lunch break sometime pretty soon here. Okay, it's lunchtime. Making a good push this morning. I feel like I just want to take a short break here just to air out my feet a little and then just keep on moving and see how far I can get. The more miles I do today, the less tomorrow into town, into Blountstown. But at the same time, I don't want to push it because my left foot definitely is hurting in places. I think my right foot's doing okay in general, but I got to take care of my left foot a little bit more. But anyway, we'll be back on trail shortly. Okay, back on the road. My left foot is still definitely kind of screwed up. Looks like a controlled burn is burning up some of the pines. Making my way past Bonnet Pond. There's a little campsite further up. I think I'll stop there for a little bit. There we go. Here's the Bonnet Pond camp. I'm going to take a little rest break here. I reassess how much further I'm going to be going. Okay, back on trail. I think I've got a plan. So 3 miles from here is Camel Lake Campground. I'd like to go to the next campsite further up, which is another 2 miles up, is Memory Island Camp. But that area is all flooded out and swamped out, so it's probably not the best for me to go through there. So I think I'll just make it as far as the Camel Lake one. Try to see if I can get a spot in there. Looks like a pay site with a camp host and all that. And then it'll be road walking after that all the way into town for tomorrow. Oh, this is a little bridge over Big Gully Creek. Looks like it's kind of eroding away. Made it to the Camel Lake Rec area. I was noticing a lot of campers and stuff around. Hope it's not too full up. Gotta find the camp host. See if I can get myself a spot. It does seem nice and quiet here, though. So maybe it's not too full. Well, I had a good look around. It's a nice little quiet area, but all the sites are reserved and the camp host is out, so I can't see if they can squeeze me in somewhere. I did get topped up on water, though, and there's nice bathrooms here, but I think I'm just going to move on and have to stealth in the woods somewhere. So I'll enjoy a little sit down here, a little breeze blowing, nice and cool in the shade, and then I'll see you wherever we find camp at. Here we go. I think this is exactly what I was looking for. Nice little flat spot just off of a little forest road. There's no recent vehicular tracks, so nobody's coming down here in a while. Anybody in this whole area is just going to be going up to that Camel Lake Rec area. So I think this is going to be perfect. Perfect little stealth site for us. So that's it for today. Luckily we were able to keep our feet dry, just doing a lot of the forest road walks around all the swampy bits. And tomorrow I think is going to be all road walking. This gets out to kind of a more main road and then a more main road, and we get up into some towns. There's one little town we hit, I think is Bristol, and then we get through there, and then Blountstown is the one that we're aiming for to stay and taking a 0 for the next night. So once we get to some of those towns, we might be able to get some food for the day before getting into our final destination. But that is it for now, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.